Well, hello there. This is Robert coming to you from Recovery Guy. And I am a happy, grateful, recovered alcoholic. And that's important for me to say and to share with you. In the 12 Steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, in the foreword to the first edition, it talks about precisely why they wrote the book. That they were people who had recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. And that's what I've been able to do over my 30 plus years in recovery. I've come from broken to whole. And one of the ways that I've done that is to incorporate the 12 steps of recovery into my life on a daily basis. To this day, I still practice the principles of recovery as set forth in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. One of the first principles I've learned, and one of the things that I want to talk to you about today, is the notion of admitting that you've lost before you can win. You know, when we come into recovery, we're filled with a needless sense of pride. We believe we still have something to offer or to contribute, while at the same time we know how broken we truly are. And the whole admitting that we've lost is the hardest thing we'll ever do. It's actually harder than the rest of the steps. But it's the foundation that must be laid and the path that must be cleared for anything to be built on it. In every 12-step program I've ever been involved in, either Overeaters Anonymous, Gamblers Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and certainly Alcoholics Anonymous, that first step is that we've admitted we were powerless over whatever the substance is, and our life had become unmanageable. Then and only then, Bill even talks about in the 12 and 12, how we need to grab that first step as only the dying can. So if you don't think that you're dying, if you don't think you really need it, you're going to do what I did and sort of pay lip service to that admitting that I've lost before I could win. And you know, that worked for me right up until the time I relapsed at about 72 days of sobriety. And when I came back to Alcoholics Anonymous, I knew I had to admit defeat. I knew that for me to stand any chance of ever recovering the way I saw many other people recover, I had to admit that I had lost before I could win. Once I fully incorporated that notion into my life and into my plan of recovery as that first step, then I was ready to take the rest of the steps. And 30 years later, over 30 years later, as I live out this life of recovery, I still practice these principles in my affairs. My good friend, Pete the Greek, told me that step one, this admitting that I've lost before I could win, is the only step that I need to do to perfection. The minute I think that I don't have to admit that I'm powerless, that I don't have to admit defeat, is when I think I can do this on my own. And the reality is I can't. I need God. I need the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. I need the principles that I've set down before me, that I've incorporated into my daily life for me to become from broken to whole. And that's what we want to do with you folks at Recovery Guy. My name is Robert, and I look forward to sharing with you soon.